Hi guys, Ian Thompson from IT Turning Point here again. Welcome back to step 2 of creating calendars and using them in Microsoft Project. Step 1 showed us how to create a calendar in Project 2016, and that's what we've done in this particular project here. And now what we're going to look at is we're going to look at doing what I classify really as a wee bit of brain surgery. We're going to go into Microsoft Project and we're going to reflect the hours we've created in that calendar inside Microsoft Project's brain. Now, if I go into the file menu up here, there is an options section, and this lets you into the options that Project uses when it carries out various pieces of work within the engine that generates all your information inside Microsoft Project. If I go to the schedule section in here, you can see in here that I'm dealing with Project 1, which is the one we're working on up here, and it talks about scheduling and all sorts of things. But this top section here is showing the work loading, so the amount of hours it expects in a week and each day. And because I've tweaked its standard, it still thinks it's using a standard. So what I have to do is I have to go in here and say, no, we're starting at 9 o'clock now and we're finishing at 5, apart from a Friday, but we'll get to that. But we're working sort of 7 hours a day because we don't include the lunch from Monday to Thursday. And in a week, we're actually working 34 hours because we have Monday to Thursday at 7 hours, that's 28. And then we have 6 hours on a Friday, which is 34. And the days per month will be 20, so it's sort of a 4-week month that looks at 5 days in a week. 4 times the 5 gives us a 20-day month. Now, it's not entirely spot on, as you can imagine, because what you can do is you could take the 5 days for the week and you could divide the amount of hours worked. So if I have 34, divide it by 5 equals, effectively on average, I'm getting 6.8 hours per day. So I could nail it down to that and actually tell Project exactly what was happening. That's the little bit I need to do inside Project as well as build the calendar. So I've built the calendar. It's not using it yet in this project, but to reflect the hours in the calendar, I've told it it's 9 till 5. On average, it's 6.8 hours a week when you take the 5 days and divide the total of 34 hours per week by that. And it's going to be 20 days a month. And I simply click OK. The next part I want to do in here is I want to tell Microsoft Project in this step 2 to use this calendar I've built inside this current plan I'm just about to build. So to do that, I stay in the project menu and I'm going into project information. Project information is a wonderful window. It lets us set a start date. So for example, rather than start it today, I'll start this next Monday, 29th. It lets me set the calendar, which you can see it's using as standard. But look, there is my calendar now, ITTP. I'm going to click OK on that. And I shall click OK. And all that will happen, bang, is the calendar start date jumps the calendar forward slightly. But it is now using the calendar and the hours I've put in every time I put a task in. So if I put a task in on a Monday, it will use my 9 until 5. If I put a task in on a Friday, it will use my 9 until 4. It will know there is an hour in the middle of that for lunch, so that you're only getting 7 hours effort and 6 hours effort, not 8 hours effort. And if I then save this, what I want to do now is I want to go to File, Save As, and I will just save this on my desktop at the present, just to show you what's happening here. So if I go up to my desktop and I'll just call it ITTP as a project name and I click save. What's happened now is I've built my calendar. I've told it inside a part of its brain and it needs to use these specific hours for loading the tasks up with the amount of work that needs done. And I've told it a start date and to use my calendar. If I close this project down now and reopen it, it will have my calendar in its memory, but it won't have it in its memory for new projects. So if I launch project and launch a new project, you will find that it won't have that calendar. So I'm going to actually show you how to put that calendar into the ultimate Microsoft Project brain, which is if I go to the file menu and I make sure I'm on info, there is an organizer. Now if I go into the organizer, this is actually right inside Microsoft Project's brain, the engine that runs Project. And this is called the global Microsoft Project's global template. You can see up here, it's the global Microsoft Project template. If I go to the calendars tab, you can see the ones that are already built into its global template, the 3 that we saw in step 1. Here are the 2 that are inside my project, the standard one it was using by default and my one. So I'm going to click on my calendar I built and I'm going to click copy, and it now puts it inside to the global template. That means that if I close down Microsoft Project completely, once I've done close, if I was to shut project down and open it again, I could choose that particular calendar and start running from it without having to go and rebuild it all again. You must obviously make sure that you keep it up to date with holidays and changes in times, but it saves you having to completely rebuild the calendar again. So that's step 2 in Microsoft Project Calendar. Step 1 was creating a calendar. Step 2 has been changing some of the option features to reflect the working hours and putting it into Microsoft's brain so that Microsoft will use it and you can choose it in the future for new projects. I hope that helps. In step 3, which will be coming up soon, we're going to actually looking at how does this reflect on my resources. My resources work all sorts of hours and some of them take holidays at different times. And we will look at resources calendars and how we can use the calendars we've built and how we can adapt them for individual resources, or you could create a calendar for each individual resource. Once again, it's Ian Thompson from IT Turning Point. I hope that's been helpful. Please keep an eye on our website for further videos that come up that give some assistance and help. See you soon. Bye.